Hello and welcome to Outside In. My name is Steven. I just was able to get the Hotkrem CO2 monitor for $30. So that is pretty awesome. Another affordable monitor for people to own. My favorite handheld monitor for accuracy is made by Smart Sensor. It costs about $200. I also have a Smart Sensor carbon monoxide detector that I absolutely love that as well, and that is about $40 I think. I have two Hotkrem monitors, a particulate monitor and the CO2, and I'm comparing it and testing it with two Timtops, the C10 and the M10. The M10 does particulates, TVOC, formaldehyde, AQI, and then I have the C10, which is the CO2 monitor. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, this is the Hotkrem CO2 that I just received, and this is $30. This is the Timtop C10. This is $66. And this is the Timtop M10 that does TVOC, AQI, formaldehyde, PM 2.5. And that one is around, I think I paid $90 for that. And this over here is the Hotkrem particulate monitor that does PM 2.5, PM1, PM10. It also does PM5, PM1, PM.5, and PM.3. So that is pretty awesome that it goes all the way down to 0.3. Normal ranges of CO2 would be 600 to 800. Right now this is showing just under 1,000. This one has been staying around 700-800. These two monitors stay within 100 of each other, pretty much spot on. This is always 100 lower than this one. So when I went back and reviewed footage of using the Smart Sensor, it also is 100 lower than the Timtops. So that means that I put my trust in the Smart Sensor as being the most accurate of all the monitors I have. So that means that the Hotkrem, guess what, is very, very accurate according to the Smart Sensor professional handheld meter that I have, and for $30. Okay, so I'm going to do a test here real quick, and then I'm just going to breathe into the back of each one of these to see what happens with the CO2, how high they go, and how well they react with one another. Okay, so I breathed twice into the back of each one of these, and we'll see what happens. Now this one's already, boy, this is fast. Wow, this is fast. This reminds me of my Smart Sensor, how fast it reacts. And this is already going over 5,000, which is way higher than this one will. This one will only go to 5,000. This is awesome. Wow, I'm just discovering this. I'm going to have to breathe into this more and see how high it'll go. This is cool. I'm going to have to start using this instead of my Smart Sensor. No, I'm just joking. I love my Smart Sensor. See, 5,000 is pegged. It won't go any higher than that. This one's at 8,000 now. This is, okay, yeah, it's coming down, so I better breathe into it again. I want to see how high this will go. So I breathe twice more into this one. And just to be fair, I'll breathe twice more into this one because I want to see how fast they come down. If this goes above 10,000, that would be awesome. But let's see, 9,300. Come on, Hotkrem. Come on, Hotkrem. You can do it. Wait a minute, it's coming back down. Wow, that's fast. This one's fast. Oh, let's try it again. So, I had to breathe into that one twice to keep the test fair. 99. Oh, I guess I guess that means it's over the limit. So 10,000, this goes up to 10,000 just like my Smart Sensor. That is awesome. And I'm loving that. Okay. And obviously it's saying poor because, yeah, you definitely don't want your CO2 getting up to 10,000. Who knows how high that went? Okay. See, it's already coming down, and I didn't even breathe twice more into this one to be fair. So this one's still come down way quicker than this one. So again, the Timtop is very slow to respond. The Hotkrem, wow, that is very fast to respond to air being dissipated for it to re-register as the CO2 levels come down. And it also has TVOC. Now see, the TVOC and this Timtop TVOC is pretty close, and most of the time when everything settles down, these are pretty much exactly spot on. Once you've let everything settle down really well, this Hotkrem and this Timtop are pretty much spot spot on with each other. So this is down to 85 now, and this is still saying 70. This is down to 2600 already, 25, and this one's still at pegged out, still pegged out. So it's very slow to respond, the temp top is. So it's still setting at 5,000. Wow. This one's back down to 1800, 17. Now this is, temp top's finally coming down. See, every time I make a motion, I try to repeat it with the other one to be fair. I like these tests to be as fair as possible. So 1500, 38. When the temp top finally does decide to finally start coming down, then it drops pretty quickly, but still not as quick as, so 1200, 27, 2800, about 2800. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm loving this. Now see, the TVOC here is 74, and this one's still saying 70, but see, this shows hundreds. This one only shows 10, so I don't know what the number is past the 7, so for all I know, it could be 73. This one is showing 73, and these pretty much stay exactly dead on with one another after it's settled in. Now, what you need to know also about the Hotkrem when you buy one is, when I first got this and opened it and turned it on, this CO2 or this TVOC was crazy high, super high. But I believe the manual states on the Hotkrem that you leave this on in your environment for at least 6 hours before you rely on it at all. And that's exactly what happened with me. I left this set for probably 6 or 7 hours before it finally settled into the environment, and then it absolutely agreed with the temp top. So that's awesome. Now this is down to normal, 900. This one is still at 18, almost 2000. The smart sensor is definitely more accurate because of the way because of the type of sensors it has, but this, I believe, has a sensor in it. Now we're down to 800 on the Hotkrem, still almost 50, just about 1400 on the temp top. Okay, and the TVOC is 70, and this one is 70, and this is pretty much where they stay once everything settles out. But yeah, make sure when you do get the Hotkrem, you'll end up returning it because you'll think something's wrong with it when you first turn it on. You must wait at least 6 hours. I waited overnight. I let it set overnight. All of these have been setting out here on for probably about 16, 17 hours to be 100% sure that they were all settled into the environment in this room. And actually the levels in this room are very good. C4 on the particulate, 2.5. That is awesome. But PM1 is 3, PM10 is 7. Okay, now this only does PM2.5, but it says 5, and the Hotkrem says 7, 6. So yeah, right together. The TVOC is 80. Now that's probably because I've been pushing buttons and moving it around, and this one's still saying around 70. So yeah, very close with one another. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for stopping by. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Find someone that needs a reason to go on and give them the gift of understanding. Find someone that needs a hug. Give them a hug. God bless us, each and every one. And I will see you in the next one.